Canada's had 3 excellent scoring chances, the 3 shots.
Sutter, Gilmore, and Prop up front for Canada. From the face-off, Gilmore gets it, flips it in front. Prop couldn't get to it. Prop behind the net. Now comes in front, Gilmore. Knocked off the puck, and the Soviets break out of there. Number 18, Seaman, who scored the winner in Game 1. Taken out of the play by Patrick. Prop knocking it back of the net. And Rochefort has it for Canada. Soviet Semyonov knocked it back of the net, and here is Prop. Out to James Patrick. Patrick flipping it in. Kasatonov back to get it for the Soviets. Right up the middle with a pass to Semyonov. Soviets breaking in Semyonov. Rochefort ties him up, and Gretzky there to clear it up. Canada get it into center ice. Samak losing it. Here's Gusarov. Hits the linesman with it. Soviets pick it up. Womakin going in. Womakin tied up by Rochefort. And Mario Lemieux tries to flip it up. But Tisop held it in. Back of the net goes Murphy. Larry Murphy for Canada. To Prop, who dumps it in. Beloshakin leaving it there. Stelnov has it for the Soviets. Into center ice. Chance for Humalev off the glass. Rebound. Oh, and that's fired wide by Priakin with Fuhr down and out of position. Here's Priakin again, feeding it to Humalev. Back to Priakin, missed him. Canada trying to break down, but it's fired back in by the Soviets. Soviets just had 2 great chances. Here comes Coffey for Canada. Tried to clear it in, intercepted. Makarov trying to break away. Gartner tied him up. And now Gretzky takes over for Canada. Gretzky down right wing to Doug Costa. Goes in. Shoots. Beloshakin the save. Larionov cleared the rebound. Soviets with Perbukin clearing it to center to Makarov. Makarov trying to stick handle in. Does centered it. No one there. Comes to Perbukin. Fired it behind the net. And Bork flips it to Glenn Anderson. Anderson for Canada to Murphy. Round on the boards to Bork. 7.5 minutes left in the first overtime. Here's Bork to Anderson, picked up by Messier. He's checked, and Bork has it and flips it in. Racing in to get it is Anderson. Anderson shoots, Beloshakin the save. Rebound, poked up by Sutter, but Beloshakin able to freeze it.
Some great chances for Team Canada. They're getting them. This play in front, that's a good shot because there was a decoy in front, and Beloshakin stuck with the puck carrier on that play. Sometimes the tendency is to pull away from that post and go for the guy coming up the middle. Beloshakin stayed right with it and made the save and hung on. And this is tough stuff. That's Rochefort checking on Semyonov. Rochefort's played a great game for Canada.
Here's Brent Sutter, but the Soviets win the face-off, and Fetisov gets it into center ice. Shot in there by Homatov, and Canada go back and try and clear it out. Knocked down by Bekoff of the boards. Into Homatov. Homatov centered a shot. Blocked into the fence. Oh, Kasatonov almost won it. And it hit someone in front of the net. And then Goulet clears it down the ice.
Wow. Well, we're having the chances at both ends, but the Soviets moving that puck around so well are presenting themselves with clearer chances in front of Fuhr, and Fuhr's been terrific in this period. Here it is again, and Kasatonov is number 7, floating around in that slot area, looking for a loose puck, and it's just bouncing around in there. Kasatonov trying to find a man in front, but it never did get back out in front as the defense moved in to cover up. There's big Kasatonov right there.
Now the face-off deep in Team Canada's end of the ring. Lemieux against Semyonov. Well, they have 3 centers out there, so they have their choice. Lemieux, Gretzky, and Howardchuk.
We mentioned the fatigue factor. I can guarantee you that I don't care how well conditioned the Soviets are. They're as tired as Team Canada is right now.
Semyonov against Mario Lemieux. Deep in Team Canada's end of the rink. Canada winning the draw, and here's Coffey. Firing it out on the boards. Chipped by Howard Chuck into center ice. Semyonov back to get it. His pass. Now chipped ahead. Long shot. Pure. Long save. There's that Semak again, who won game one, and he just ripped one at Pure.
Well, that one didn't handcuff Pure like the one that won the game the other night, but he was sure going for the top shelf. That's a slap shot. The other one was a wrist shot. Pure out at the top of the crease on that one, was able to get the glove up. This game now, well, we started it at 8:20, so we're going a long way, and an awful lot of high-tempo hockey has been played. You see that save by Fuhr again. It's, what, 3 hours and 20 minutes old here in clock time.
Here's Nemchinov against Messier, deep in Team Canada's end of the rink. Coffey now coming out to question the referee Stewart about something.
Can't imagine what that is. Positioning a face-off, perhaps, but
whatever it is, Coffey was sent by Mike Keenan and now returns with the answer. Coffey comes back out there. I know what it was all about. I think Mike Keenan wanted to give some people a little bit of a breather.
I think he did a pretty good job of it if he gets away with it. The Soviets are going to make a change as well. Soviets have got the last change here. I don't know whether either chase everybody back or you send the last guys that Canada put on the ice. The Tisov's out there discussing the subject with Yellow-Shaken. Yellow-Shaken's one would say a character, I guess. Doing a little skating. He skated all the way up to the blue line. He tends at times to just kind of sit down on the crease, right on his knees, and rest when play goes up the other end of the ice.
Hasn't done that as much in this tournament as he did in the Calgary Cup last year.
Or Rendezvous, where he was doing it a lot as well. He played a pretty good game tonight. Each goaltender's let in 5, but against offenses like this, 5 isn't so many.
Here's Messier. Nemchinov wins the draw. But Dotop at the point with a shot that deflects. And Gretzky has it for Canada. Gretzky firing it in. It changed directions but went wide. Lemieux in to try and get it, but Dotop quickly cleared it, and Larionov breaks out. Larionov, number 11. Stick handles in deeper, shoots, put it up high on the stick and into the crowd. And we're approaching the 14-minute mark of overtime.
Well, Larionov, I mentioned the other night, he's not really been much of a factor in this tournament. His wingmates have, but some say, and can't get anybody to really admit it, that he's playing hurt. A couple of nice moves, and then the deflected shot. Defenseman stuck right with him. Defenseman keeping everybody in front of him now, not allowing anybody to sneak in behind. 11-5, shots on goal now as we're kicking off. He's probably a little more relaxed than the other coach. He's got a little leeway. He loses tonight, he gets another shot at Team Canada. Mike Keenan loses, and it's all over.
Gilmore wins an important face-off in Canada's end of the rink. Canada moving out. Gilmore sliding it off the boards, and Beckhoff goes back over to Gusarov, feeding it up the ice. Omatov into Beckhoff. Beckhoff trying to get around Bork. Tries to center. Here's Omatov behind the net. Omatov for the Soviet centers. Beckhoff firing it back. Pure knocks it away, and Murphy has it for Canada. Larry Murphy up the middle to Gardner. He tips it down the ice, and Yellow-Shaken out to play it, and Gusarov trying to clear it out of there again. Long pass for Homatov, and that's offside at the Team Canada blue line. 5:27 left in period of overtime number 1.
Kamienski arguing there, just like an NHLer. That wasn't offside, right at the line, he says. Jean Perron in the background, Mike Keenan in front. Boy, the tension in this building. Crowd is still up, but you can feel it. Everything's on the edge of the seats now. Every time Canada picks up the puck, you see the ooh, and every time the Soviets make their attack. Prolonged overtime period here. This is the longest overtime in the history of the Soviet Union, because the game in which Bossy scored in the '84 Canada Cup went 12 minutes and 29 seconds.
Here's Semyonov dumping it in. Canada from behind their own goal, led by Paul Coffey. Coffey trying to flip it in. Broken up, Verbuchen shoots it out, and here's Semak. Lemieux checks in to Prop. Brian Prop shoots wide from well out. Fedotov back to get it. That's Brent Sutter. Into the corner, centered out in front. Cleared away by the Soviets. And back they come. Semak to Pryakin, now to Lomakin. Lomakin trying to cut around Coffey. Center to Semak. Puts it in front, but Canada there to clear it away. And here is Lemieux to Brent Sutter. Sutter moving in, looking for Prop. Prop into the slot, shoots, stick save by Belosheikin, and Semak has the rebound. To Fedotov, that's knocked away. Goulet tried to clear it in. Here's Fetisov. Quick pass ahead. Semak trying to feed it to Semyonov. He's taken up by Bourque. And here's Gretzky. To Goulet with a perfect pass. Into Lemieux. And that's outside of the Soviet blue line.
That was a tough offside right at the line. Linesman was right there. Lemieux took that pass, and apparently, according to the linesman, it was just a shade ahead of the puck as he crossed the line. 4:18 left in the first overtime period. And Brian Prop letting that shot go. Now that hit the stick. And I guess it was enough of the stick, or it hit somebody coming around behind the net. But for a moment, it might have hit the post coming behind him. Now here's Ray Bourque just doing a number on Semyonov. It's tough out there.
Back to the live action. 4:12 left in the first overtime. Here's a late pass to Gartner, tipped in. Belosheikin out of the net. Gartner digs in. Getting it. Canada's Anderson trying to center. Now Gartner continuing to battle. Here's Murphy. Shoots. Belosheikin just got a stick on that. After Gartner a drive wide of the target. Here's Messier. Behind the net to Gartner. Back to Messier. He's taken out of the play. Anderson then gets wrestled down by Larionov. And Makarov clears it into center ice. Soviets with Kasatonov. Carrying in. Trying to center. Good play by Messier to break it up. And here's Glenn Anderson. Anderson passing to Bourque. Canada make a whole change of a fly. Kasatonov back to Krutov. Lemieux held it in. Into the corner to Gretzky. Gretzky centered. Belosheikin knocks that away. Kasatonov trying to clear it. Out Gretzky. Back out to Crossman. Crossman at the point. Shoots. That's blocked. And Krutov back the other way with Makarov. Here's Krutov racing in. He's checked and copied into center ice to Gretzky. To Paul Coffey. Coffey leaving it. Shot by Prop. Belosheikin got his blocker up to stop that. Now Gretzky. Trying to center to Prop again. Prop gets knocked off the puck. And then it's shot back in by Crossman offside. At the Soviet blue line. 2:40 left in the first period of overtime.
Brian Prop getting a couple of pretty good chances. Prop, that earlier rush. Here he comes now. Getting that drop pass. Great shot.
Now Gilmore, Howardchuk, and Sutter out there for Team Canada. Rochefort out on defense, along with James Patrick. Played 17 minutes and 20 seconds of overtime. Now at the last second, Canada make a change. Coffey comes out along with Croston. Gilmore tossed out of the face-off, and stepping in will be Brent Sutter. Sutter getting it. Rink wide pass to Coffey. Coffey fires it in. Digging in, Gilmore. Scoops it to Brent Sutter. Sutter taken out behind the net. Gilmore in to help out with the play behind the net, and Canada force another face-off in the Soviet zone.
Brent Sutter doing a lot of hard work against Fedotov down in there behind the net. Well, I remember Sutter, monumental role they had. With Bossy, Tonelli, 84 Canada Cup. Hasn't been given the opportunity to really show his wares in this one because of the number of positions he's been forced to play through the injuries and so on. Canada going out
against Sutter.
I was going to say Canada going with the three lines.
Here's Howard Chuck getting it to Crossman. Crossman put it in front. Beloshakin cleared that away. And Fedotov has it. Fedotov fired it to center. Knocked down by Howard Chuck to Gilmore. Gilmore moving in, trying to center. Comes to Howard Chuck. Howard Chuck trying to get it in front. Does. Over onto the other wing. And the Soviets are able to clear it. Crossman to Paul Coffey. Back to Doug Crossman. Lead pass to Howard Chuck. Fellow shaken out of the net to scoop it away, and Fedotov able to fire it back down the ice, and Murphy goes back to get it. Murphy to Bork. Bork trying to fire it in, and it's offside at the Soviets' blue line, and we're down to 1:39 left in the first overtime period.
Well, the way things have gone, the Soviets are their most dangerous in the late moments of the period. Now Mike Gardner, he's playing hurt a bit in this series, but continues to be, I think, a very big factor, especially in the defensive side of his game.
Two weary hockey teams battling here.
Shots on goal, by the way, have really closed up. At one point, the Soviets had a very big margin. It's now 11-9 for the Soviets. At one point, it was 9-3.
Here's Murphy for Canada. Scoops it into the Soviet zone. Beloshakin had to play it. Soviets work it out, and here's Karutov. Dropping it to Kasatona. Now into center ice. Makarov for the Soviets. Breaks in. Shoots. Wrist shot high. Karutov missed it. Here's Makarov. He's taken out of the play, and Anderson breaks up. And Anderson to Messier. Messier dropping it back. Came outside the line. Gardner scooped it back in. Soviets break up. Here's Mariana. His shot blocked, and Bork back to get it for Canada. Bork trying to clear it. We're in the final minute of the first overtime. Team Canada get it to center. Omatov trying to carry back in. Omatov against Bork. Now Beckhoff into the corner with Crossman. Krutov is there. Messier tying him up. And Messier able to scoop it out with 30 seconds left. Kasatona over to Homatov. Into Beckhoff. Leaving it there. Kasatona backhander. Pure glove save. And he held on. We're down to 21 seconds left in overtime. Period one, that is.
Backhand shot again on Pure, one that beat him earlier. They're tough to handle. At that time, Pure right on it. 21 seconds left in the first overtime period. Who would believe it? They'd scored 10 goals in the first three periods and then go this long without a goal. A tribute to the defenses of both of these clubs.
Well, with the pace of this game, particularly in the first period, the noticeable difference here in overtime from both sides, they're weary, weary hockey players.
That's right. Canada, just the three lines going, it's incredible that they can maintain it. And I thought through the last 10 minutes of this period, down the edge has been to Canada.
Semyonov knocked it back to the net. Copy there to clear it to Gretzky. Gretzky around onto the other wing to Kropp. Kropp knocking it back to the net to Crossman. 10 seconds left in the overtime. There's Fedotov, a shot blocked. Crossman has to go back. clear it out onto the other wing. Propp shoots it down the ice, and that ends the first period of overtime. No scoring in period 1 of overtime, and we'll have to wait for a second overtime period to decide a game winner in game 2. The shots on goal in overtime, the Soviets 12, Canada 9. And it's still tied 5-5. More overtime coming up in another of these classic hockey games between Canada and the Soviet Union. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.